Welcome everybody to another Voice of Nick show. We're going to be doing more of the Posthomerica artwork here. And we want to get this picture into our book cover, for one. And number two, we also want to do a little bit more formatting on the book cover, so let's open that. I think we're going with this one, the one on the right. So let's put this in the old folder. I think it's cool to have two pictures for the covers. Not that it has to, but I don't think it's a problem that the audiobook cover looks different than the book cover. I've seen that happen, before on other audiobooks, so it's not like we're doing something that is going to mess it up. So let's duplicate this. We'll put this in the old folder. The artwork, I made a few revisions after we signed it. And completely finalized it. So now it's like integrated into the book, the artwork, and also into the PDF that people who buy the audiobook will get. So that's pretty exciting. Now we just want to make these two book covers. Really just the book cover at the moment, because the audiobook gets submitted later than the regular book. So this has to download, but it shouldn't take that long, I don't think, because it's not going to be as big as the other one. And then there will be a couple of sort of quandaries about, what the patterns are going to be. There's a few things that I'm not entirely, 100% sure about, like, does this have a pattern on the side, or is it just a solid shape? Does this have patterns all around? Is that going to be too distracting? What does this look like? We just drew squiggly lines. There's a few things here that I think we need to really define. But first, we will copy this in. Actually, that's a stupid idea. Let's just we're going to take a merged picture of it, because if we copy it in, it's going to slow down the whole file. There's a few elements in the picture that we're going to be removing from the main picture. And you'll see that these two figures on the left and right are going to go away. But for now, we'll just leave them in there. Okay, so now is the time to figure out, what is this? Let's get rid of this. This we can lose. We'll just kind of clean up all this. like this, this border should not be that thick, I don't think. What do we got here? Is this just nothing? This was test things. We'll delete that. So let's make a layer that we can see what we're doing. I also have to figure out the typeface, what that's going to be. There's another issue that whatever we draw for this, our brush size is going to be smaller, or have to be smaller, because it would have to match what this is, which is shrunken from the original size. As for the layout, I think this is pretty much it. On the audiobook version, we want to change the size. We want to change the size of the text. It's too big, but on this one, it's fine. Now the question comes in of like, what kind of border are we trying to do? The nice thing is that we have a whole swath of ready-made borders. There's really no need to totally redo or like reimagine all our borders. So for example, this would probably work perfectly on the sides of the book. Let's see, this one's probably cleaner. And we're just taking merged copies of everything now, because we don't really want to waste our time integrating like the main art yet, because we don't know whether or not this is going to be the design. So you can see that this is now matching kind of like the size, closer to the size of what the other line work is. And we want to just stay aware of that as we go. I think this border could probably line the whole picture. So let's just sort of mock up a version of that. Wow, that perfectly fit right there. How lucky is that? Uh-oh. It doesn't really matter if any of this stuff is here, but I just want to get rid of the little feet that are intersecting with the border here. Okay, that will get merged. We'll put one on the other side. Whoa. Now we'll make a new one flip it 90. Flip it vertically. And the nice thing here is that if you're using the this tool, like the transform tool, it'll actually snap. Although the problem is that it's not snapping properly. Alright, that works. It might be a little too loud, this like border being on the sides. I don't know if I want it to be so intricate, but that's why we're experimenting. Let's try turning on this. Yeah, like it might be a little too much for it to be on the sides of the book. We'll keep it for now. Let's see what kind of other borders we have. Damn, I gotta download pictures to... Okay, the best way to do this would be for me to look at it in my cloud preview on the computer, and then we'll just download the ones we need rather than downloading everything. Because the iPad here is having a problem where Photoshop, I guess, is creating this kind of like massively inflated system cache, which is, I'm probably gonna have to totally reset the iPad, because there's like no data on this iPad, but it's almost full because it's just this inflated system cache that you can't delete on iOS. Okay, I think we want book 10, and let's open, oh, not this. Ugh. I opened the same thing again. Maybe book 4 and 10. Let's take a look. Probably just book 10 is what we want to open for the borders. Let's take a look at this border. That could be good. Book 1 and book 10 are possibles. Maybe book 3. Oh, that's pretty cool. No, we can't do that and that though. Okay, book 1 and 10. And of course, neither of those are already downloaded. Okay, book 10. I don't know anything about what kind of font we want to use. That's going to be something else entirely that we figure out. So this is cool, but it's too loud for the book cover. I'm thinking this would be the top of the Posthomerica text, so let's try it. And then we can also grab that other one. So we'll group this stuff too so it doesn't get too crowded. And we'll just remove that. Let's just make this translucent. Yeah, I think this is gonna end up being too loud. Yeah, it's too much. It matches what the border is on the other part, which is not what we want. And if we shrink it, it's too intricate. So this is going to be a no. We'll leave it in here just in case we want to use it for something. Let's try book 1. And of course, we're going to make the whole book cover match the texture of the black in our picture, so it's like, you know, weathered similarly to the regular book. Okay, so this I was thinking could be a little bit less distracting because it's a simpler pattern. The only issue is that this is a different color. So let's actually just copy it from this layer rather than as a merged copy. Yeah, it looks pretty good. All right. Let's do this, and then I just want to get rid of all the excess because it's always annoying when you have to move layers, and then there's extra past the frame. Okay, now we can just copy this. I think this is going to be what, this is going to be what we use for the bottom part. Okay. And I think this will end up being, come on. This will end up being 3 of the same side and then 1 different. Let's take this out. Okay. Do that and that. Okay. So it would look something like that. I think this corners would be a different color though. These are all burned in, so we can't really mock up what that would look like, but, well, we can give it a shot. This will just show us in general what that might look like with this color. Why did I do it in this way, though? That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't need to be a layer like that. Yeah, I think we're probably going to want it to be, and let's just, there's not really a good way to do this in a regulated way, so we'll just start drawing on top of this. But I basically just want to make this thicker a little bit. And I guess that means we could just get rid of these layers. Because we're just drawing it ourselves now. Okay. Get rid of this for now. We have to match the brush size of the other thing though, so it's probably like 13. Let's get rid of this for a minute. Okay. So we would make these all the same width. All right, so it'll be something like that for the one part. I think I like it. I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell when it's not weathered. But let's keep going. Okay. Is there a text tool in here? Okay. I don't really think any of these fonts are going to be what we use. But we can use it just for spacing purposes. There's also not a lot of fonts installed on this iPad. It's just the defaults. Is it not going to let me just... Okay, how do I get it to... There we go. It kind of is a cool font for this, actually. Why is this... Do I have to select it? There we go. Tracking is what we want. This is pretty intuitive. Good job, iPad Photoshop. What is this? That's for line breaks, I guess. Baseline shift. Oh yeah, we don't need that. No, these are not going to be what we want. All caps we have. Small caps. Oh, this is nice. I can center it. That doesn't really matter for us, but... It might be better to have it be, well, maybe the title will be bold and the subtitle will be and we're going to make this font size smaller. Oh, wait, we got to select it again. I feel like this doesn't need to be bold. Something like that. Oh, an interesting thought would be, what if this was... Okay, hold on. What if this was black? Why is this... Is that the same black? I guess it is. Okay, and then this, how do we change the text color? Okay, that's pretty cool. It doesn't create as, like, it's not as easy to read, but I think it fits better as a piece of the composition. So ultimately the winner there would always be the stronger read, so on a book cover at least. So we probably will go with the other version. Well, maybe if the text is that color, it works better. All right, we'll run with this. Let's make a alternate version. So all of this would be black background, red text version, and then 1, 2, 3. This would be red text, red background, black text version. I really think from a design perspective, this looks better, but it really does draw the eye less. The question is, like, sometimes it doesn't matter that it draws it less, it just matters that it draws it enough. And when you compare them one to one, it's like it's always going to look like the other one's better in that scenario. All right, so now let's take I'm going to take off the background again. We're going to turn this way down. I guess we'll just duplicate this for now. Okay. Now, right, we had this being a different size than the other one. Let's do the text first. How do you actually choose? Here we go. I don't know why it looks like that, but okay, so this stuff would go somewhere else. This is a stupid glitch. Actually, let's do the background layer first. We don't even need this anymore. not really sure why this is not lining up, but it's okay. Now, we will delete this. Then I think the way to do it is going to be I think we just make another section down here. The one thing that we don't have on here is the name of the author, which is obviously wrong. So we gotta put that somewhere. Okay, stand by. What do you say, by? Seems a little, I don't know if that's like the correct way to say that. Maybe this would be another thing where it's a divider. Okay, we could try that. I didn't turn off the other layer, I guess. Now let's turn the background back on. Come on. I don't know that this is going to work because it's going to be too much, but let's see. Okay. Alright, well, we can't get it to be perfectly where we want, so we'll just leave that. And then put this. I guess that works. It kind of muddies the purity of the simplicity of the design. But you gotta have the author's name in there, obviously, so. Okay. So something like that, and then this down here would be this is going to have a lot of text in it. Oh wait, we forgot to Why does it look like this is tilted? That I'm not sure about. There we go. Okay. Now we can come up with a design language for maybe these parts are differently colored text. Maybe the author name. So this is size 13. What is the size on the other stuff? 16. What if it was 13? Okay. I can't tell if it's that the whole thing has been tilted or if it's just the border stuff. This one is not tilted. So maybe the best way to do this would be we'll just remake it. Right, it's a little more complicated than that. Alright, we'll leave the tilted one in for now. That works pretty well for me. I'm even wondering, I kind of want to leave these characters in on the sides because it sort of paints the frame with like the implication that things are happening outside of what you're seeing. But let's take a look at what it would be if we took them out. I remember liking it better before when we took them out, so let's just see. Oh yeah, this is definitely better. Because if you're looking at it from far away, this then immediately makes it harder to tell what's going on. So I want the black in these parts that's all clean to look like this, where it's like weathered. And obviously we're going to do a final art for all this, and I might even want to remake the text. So for example, let's see if this would be a good idea. I guess I would have to put this in a group. Because it's not really necessary, but I just think it would be cool if we remade the text by hand. So there's a little bit of like a hand-drawn quality to that. I don't think we need so much of the guides. And this is obviously a very unscalable thing. We can't really, like I said, in the literal sense, we cannot scale it up. But it's also, we have to be pretty sure that it's done before we do this. Obviously, what I'm doing right now is just a test. But when we're really doing it, we'll have to be sure that it's like set in the spot, ready to go, because we don't want to have to move it afterwards. Yeah, that might be a good idea to give it a shot. Alternatively, we can just do this. Hold on, let's save this. We can just do stuff like this, which will make it basically do the same thing. And then make our own weathering effects on it. Whatever we're trying to do. So maybe it's a better idea not to do hand-drawn text. Okay. So we're back to this. Good. So now we have like a less rough design, but it's still the rough design. So what we want to do next is bring in the final assets and really make this correctly. And then once we have all that, we can start weathering the picture. All right. Yeah, I think this is pretty good. Okay. Good. As for the Audible cover, I'm not sure what I'm going to do for the coloration, because having a black background probably won't look as good. This one is like different color than either background. I guess we'll just do something like that then. But the book cover comes first, so we're going to do that. Let's move this into the old folder. Did it not go? It did not go. It did go. Okay. Great. Looking at this from small thumbnail size, I just want to do one more thing, which is I guess we'll just take this whole thing, move it down a little bit. Yeah. One other thing too is that maybe I might want to just have this be a simple I don't know about that. It's a little tacky that the same border was on the top of the Posthomerica and the top of the illustrated edition. So we could do either where you have a different border or no border. Or, I mean, you know, this kind of border. Having it